Hello, welcome to Verbling. Hi there, I'm Teacher Oakley. And in this next hour, we're going to continue our weekly series, This Week in Space, in which we practice our English and talk about technology and space industry, space exploration, any related topics that happen to come up, and perhaps practice a little bit of speaking English in hypotheticals, talk and future tense, talking about what the implications, what the results of some modern technological advances may be down the road in the future. So this class will give you a chance to talk about space and technology if you're interested in those topics, as well as express opinion, express and hopefully support opinion in English, as well as practice perhaps conditional sentences and speaking in hypotheticals using modals like might, would, could, may, as well as using adverbs, which we use to discuss these things: possibly, probably, likely, or negatively, unlikely, improbable. All right, to talk about what may or may not happen. The focus on today's class is the red planet, aka otherwise known as Mars. Okay, we're going to read a short article in which I will, of course, listen to you read and correct any pronunciation or clarify any vocabulary that comes up, and then we're going to talk about it. So we're going to read an article about the planned Mars mission, which is supposedly going to take place in 10 years. Alabek, welcome. Hello.
Yes, hello, teacher.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good, actually. Thank you very much. Just had another tropical storm here in my area, but it seems to be pretty much gone. So I'm happy about that.
Do you have any problems?
No, actually, not really. Fortunately, it was a little scary for a while. The rain was extremely heavy, and the wind was very high speeds for some time, but nothing happened, fortunately. Okay, Alabek, we're going to talk a little. We're going to talk a little bit about.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I interrupted you. Were you saying something? Okay. All right.
There is some problem with the sound.
With the sound? Okay. Can you hear me? Hear me? Okay? Or there's problem with my sound or your sound?
No, your sound.
Is it?
It's some delay on the sound.
Okay. Well, let's see. All right. Hang on. Maybe I can fix that. Let me try something. Okay. Let me lower my bandwidth. Does that help at all?
Now it's good. Now it's good.
Okay. Great.
Yes,
okay.
Now I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Great. Okay. All right. Thanks for letting me know, Alibek. I appreciate that. I'm going to do a screen share, a short article about the people who are planning to go to Mars in 2024, and then we can talk about it. Okay, so I'm going to have you read this, or since it's just the two of us, maybe we can take turns. And then I will correct any pronunciation or try to explain any vocabulary. Okay, here's our article, Meet the Volunteers Willing to Go to Mars and Never Come Back. That's right, never come back. It is a one-way trip. Okay. Alibek, could you read the first paragraph for us, please?
Okay. Over 200,000 people have applied to take a one-way trip to Mars. In these digital short interviews, 5 of those prospective Mars astronauts to find out who they are, why they would want to become a part of history.
Okay. I might add, Alibek, you did a great job, but I want to point out something that's a little strange here, and it actually seems strange to me. Here we have a phrase, a new digital short. I know that you think, and actually so do I, a short is usually an adjective. So it seems like short is the adjective with interview. So it looks strange. It looks like a interviews, which of course is wrong because we use the article a for one countable noun. But in fact, the phrase here is a new digital short. We're using short as a noun in this case. So what that means is short, they mean a short film. So sometimes in English we can say a short, that's it, to talk about a short documentary. Okay, since it's just the two of us, Alibek, I'll go ahead and read this next one. Okay. Mars One Way is the name of the short. Documents the thought process of Cody Reeder, Casey Hunter, Will Robbins, Caitlin Kane, and Ken Sullivan. The 5 applicants all come from different backgrounds, but have one similarity. They are more curious about life on Mars than attached to their current living situation on Earth. Okay. Alibek, can you read the next paragraph?
Okay. How do you react when your husband says, "Guess what? It's one way. I'm not coming back"? Asks Becky Sullivan. If chosen, her husband Ken would leave the family, including their 2 kids, behind. I'm kind of in the "it's not real" phase right now.
Okay, excellent job. No problems there. All right, I'll continue. There's a lot more drama in our relationship lately about the reality of are you choosing family or are you choosing Mars? Adds Ken. My little boy, Connor, if he just came up to me and said, "Dad, don't go," that would probably change my mind. Okay, Alibek, your turn.
The whole situation sounds as if it were lifted from a movie, at best, or an elaborate prank at worst. But it's all real life. Of the other volunteers profiled, a couple said they could change their mind. Hunter could be swayed away from the trip if he proposed to his girlfriend. Reader said his girlfriend telling him not to go might think otherwise.
Okay. All right. Just a note about some of the phrases here. Lifted from a movie. Okay, that means kind of taken from a movie. The situation sounds as if it was taken from a movie plot. Or an elaborate prank. Do you know what a prank is, Alabeth?
It's a kind of joke.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
but
Usually,
it's usually it's evil joke.
well, I don't know about evil. I wouldn't say evil, especially since I like to pull pranks. You pull pranks, by the way. I like to pull pranks on my friends, but I wouldn't consider myself evil. You pull a prank, but in any case, it's like a physical. It's a joke, but it's kind of a physical joke. Like you set up a bucket of water over a door, and when somebody walks out, the water falls on them, and they get soaking wet.
Yes,
Kind of thing.
that's what I said, that it's evil joke.
It's evil? Okay. I think that's subjective. If you think that's evil, I think chopping someone's head off is evil. But pouring a bucket of water on them by surprise, personally, I don't consider that as evil. But that's just me. Okay. Another phrase I want to just make sure is clear. Hunter could be swayed. This is close to persuaded. If someone is swayed, it means swayed, moved in their thinking. So they think something else.
Okay.
All right. My turn. I'll take the next one. That said, Hunter compares his life to that of a turd in the toilet bowl of life. Oh boy. I just kind of float. And before mentioning his girlfriend, the professional beekeeper reader says he would miss his bees the most. They might be all in after all. Okay. Well, right. Mr. Hunter makes a sort of a rude and crude, quite a crude analogy here. And then I'm not sure about this guy, Hunter. This other guy, reader, says he would miss his bees more than his girlfriend. Wow. Okay. I really don't even know what to say about that. Glad I'm not his girlfriend. Okay, last. This is information about the trip. Go ahead.
Mars One is a non-profit organization created by Bess Lensdorf and Arnold Wilder. Their goal is to establish a permanent human settlement on Mars. According to the project's website, astronaut training will begin next year. The first group of volunteers is set to depart in 2024.
Okay, 2024. All right. So these are all. The idea is this is a nonprofit organization whose goal is a permanent human settlement on Mars. Supposedly set to depart to 2024. All right, Alibek, what do you think of this? First of all, do you think this is realistic?
About that sentence or all text?
I'm sorry, again?
About that whole story?
Yeah, do you think they will ever be able to get this program to work? I mean, they've given themselves 10 years, but you think it's possible?
Yeah, I'm sure that it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are some volunteers, the people who thinking like a heroes, who like a pioneers in that sphere. I think the all mankind can develop because of that people. If we don't have that people like that volunteers, there may be no progress in our lives.
Aha. And very Nice choice of vocabulary word, pioneers. Yeah, I agree, but sometimes, Alabek, this is just my opinion. I want to see what you think about my opinion. Sometimes I feel like humankind, people in general, I feel like there are less and less people who are pioneers. I think people, I don't know, are becoming very complacent because of technology. I don't know. I guess, but no one wants to explore anymore. It seems to me. People just want to, if they go on vacation, they don't want to just explore an area. They wanna use their GPS. They want to know exactly where they're going. They want to be comfortable. Doesn't seem like many people have a spirit of adventure, I would say. Maybe that's me. Is that just me? I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yes, I agree. I think that spirit of adventures was lost maybe in the 19th century, 19th or 20th century. That's 2 centuries that we can see a lot of progress in humankind. The technological progress, the space adventures, and others. But today we have I think most people like to sitting just on their sofas and watching TV shows, and maybe they thinking about some adventures, but will not to do it forever. But if to according that text, we can see that some people who has the adventure spirit is living just near to us.
Okay.
Yes.
They exist. There are a few pioneers out there. How about you, Alabek? Are you a bit of a? Do you like adventure? Do you like to explore?
I think it depends on the situation. If we're talking about the Mars adventure, I will say that probably I don't want to go to the Mars, and I just can't leave my family and the Earth. But maybe in some or another cases, maybe it depends on the real situation.
Okay. Okay. One before I get to your point, one English point. Go to the Mars should be go to Mars. Go to Jupiter. We just like actually, just like with cities or states, territories, provinces, countries. I'm going to go to Spain. I'm going to go to New Zealand. We don't say go to the New Zealand. Usually, with planets, the same thing. But as far as English, with countries that have United States or Republic, words that describe a group or a group of many, then we do say the United States, the United Kingdom, the Republic of China, for example. So we don't need the. Okay, you said that you're not going to go to Mars, and I understand that. When I was younger, perhaps I would have said yes. But now I have a family. I definitely can't leave my family like that guy. The guy who has children in the reading in the article. Wow, he's crazy. I could never just leave my kids. That's strange to me.
Yes, I think so. I think so.
Yeah, that's very odd to me. Like, my children are young. Maybe if my children were older, in their 20s, and they wanted to go, maybe then I would go with them. Sure, possibly. But I have young children and I can't run off to Mars. Yeah, I think that's weird. I think that's very strange. Another thing that I think is a little, maybe it's strange, maybe it's not, about that article. What do you think about this? If there was a trip to Mars, pioneers to settle in Mars, do you think they need a beekeeper?
Beekeeper.
Yeah.
Beekeeper is someone who do preparation with the bees.
Yeah, he takes care of bees. Actually, Alabek, I'll tell you, my father was an amateur. As a hobby, my father was a beekeeper, so I know a little about this. They build a hive with slots, almost like a file system, and the slots have a honeycomb, and they raise the bees. So the bees make honey, and then you can harvest the honey.
Okay. To do honey. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it is. They need to someone who will beekeep the bees or other insects or some life organisms from the earth, because it will be remind them that they are from earth, and it will be help them to do some experiments.
Oh.
And it will be keep them in good condition, because they can watching the bees fly that Earth living in their shuttle or their station on Mars.
Okay. Well, also, I don't know, maybe this is crazy, but there is the point that bees and insects, there are some other insects as well, pollinate flowers and flowering plants, such as fruit. Fruit comes from flowering plants. If there are no bees, there's no fruit, basically. Actually, this is a little bit unrelated, but it's interesting, and it does has to do with modern development, and although it's not really technological, if all bees died, flowers would die, which would be pretty tragic for humanity, because you'd lose many vegetables and basically all fruit would cease to exist. So, however, another interesting documentary that I recently saw was about bees, and many bees are disappearing around the world quite rapidly. Actually, it's a little scary. No one knows about this. I mean, people know about it, but no one seems to care. They don't really realize how important this is. But in any case, there's one area in China where the bees completely disappeared, and they grow pears. The whole town basically grows pears, the fruit. And so there's no bees, so human beings have to pollinate, have to like take a little paintbrush and paint every single flower. If you can imagine. They have a little bottle with pollen, which fertilizes the flower and makes a fruit. We have to take a little paintbrush, and dip it in and paint, crawl into the tree and paint each flower. Crazy. Which,
Yes,
of
I
course,
think
yeah.
Chinese can do that. Yes, because they are very very pointful people. They can just organize that process because they have a lot of population.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of them. That's true. But still, very painstaking process, has added a lot of work to what they do. But it is possible that we can survive without bees, but very difficult. And of course, there would be no more wildflowers or wild fruit, which would, of course, affect the entire ecosystem of the Earth. Obviously.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a very scary thing. But anyway, can't really live without bees. I could live without mosquitoes, but actually, where I live, there's no bees. I never see bees. But here they have ants, and they have ants that pollinate. So there are other insects. Anyway, the point was, do you need a beekeeper on Mars? What? I mean, there are certain jobs that you just wouldn't need on Mars, it seems to me, and certain jobs that would be very important. Alibek, what kind of work do you do?
Okay, can you repeat the question?
Sure. What kind of work do you do?
On Mars?
Yeah, no, on Earth. What kind of work do you do? And then that's my next question. Would that be useful on Mars?
No, actually, I'm a lawyer. I don't think that could be useful on Mars.
Really?
But yes, but maybe in the future, when the Mars population will be growing, people need to be represented there, right? They be maybe some Mars courts will be there.
Sure. Of course. Laws would be created, and laws would have to be enforced and argued about, debated. That's very interesting, Alibek. When I don't know, North and South America were first settled. I'm pretty sure native North Americans and South American Indians didn't have lawyers. Although I could be wrong. I don't know for a fact. When were their first lawyers and solicitors? How long did that take before they were necessary? Do you have any idea?
Well, if you are according to the history of the lawyers.
Yeah, according to history. I'm talking about history. I'm very curious.
No, I'm not agree. I think the first colonials in the North America, yes, there has a lawyer.
They had lawyers.
Okay. Yes, they had lawyers, but it's not our regular, our usual lawyers. I think that's kind of men who were served to the law were included in some government, maybe some military government. Yes.
Okay.
It did not separate service, but it was included in colonial states.
Like administration, like a council or something to govern.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was two or many competition in one hand. So
Mm-hmm.
because we know the three line of the power is legislative, executive, and judicial system were in one or two hands. So, but now, yes, it's another story.
Indeed it is. Yeah, that's another topic. Okay. All right. There's, okay, again, a little feedback for English. Too many competition. Well, competition, this is tough, but let me try to explain. The word competition in English can be countable. I entered 3 competitions last year. All right, you can count that. Individual races, for example. Or when we talk about competition as an idea, as an abstract idea, like you were doing, it becomes uncountable. So we would have to say too much competition. Because you're talking about the idea of competition, not an individual race. All right, so it's one of those pain in the neck English words that can be countable or uncountable. So you have to be careful how you're using it. And then, so there's too much competition in the workplace, for example, too much. Or I entered many competitions. Many Ironman competitions. Not really.
Okay, I see.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. About my job, I'm a teacher. Would they need teachers on Mars?
Yes, surely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Think. Sure, of course. Because the whole idea is to create another generation, and of course you're going to have to teach them, and there's a lot to teach them about the Earth, for example. All right. If there is a trip, now obviously NASA and government agencies have sent satellites to Mars and probes and even craft, land craft, like rovers or like cars. There's a couple of them on Mars. Have you seen the pictures from Mars?
Yes, I have seen.
Yeah. Sometimes they show weird pictures and it looks like I don't know, a sculpture, a person's face, or a toy, or something.
Yes.
Yeah, it's weird.
Or some shadows by the stone.
Right. Yeah, there's lots of weird things, but yeah. Anyway, I want to get to the idea. Do you really think that there will be some kind of a space station, some kind of a permanent settlement? It more or less has to be permanent because once you're there, it takes an awful long time to come back, and there's really no way to come back. So, Alibek, think about that. I want to say hello to Alan and get his ideas. Hello, Alan.
Yes, how teacher?
Hello. How are you?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay.
Yes, I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. Alibek, would you mind muting your microphone? When it's just me and you, it's quite all right, but there's a little bit of feedback. Thank you very much. Very kind of you, sir. Okay, Alan, let me talk to you for a minute here. We're talking about going to Mars. First of all, Alan, would you like to go to Mars?
Yes, if there is a chance, I rather take a travel to Mars for seeing how the planet is.
How the what is? Sorry.
How the planet.
Planet. Okay, planet. Okay. See, oh, night. You wouldn't say how the planet is, what the planet is like.
Okay, what the planet is like.
Okay, Alan, but here's the rub. Here's the problem. The rub. The problem. This is the
Okay.
phrase to me. Here's the rub. You can't come back.
Okay.
It's a one-way ticket.
Oh.
One-way trip. Oh! Yeah, you can't get back because once you use all the fuel and you get there, there's no way to come back. Would you do that?
If I know this is a one-way ticket before starting the journey, I won't start it.
You will what?
I won't.
You won't do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a very special kind of person who sets up a permanent station at Mars, for sure. What kind of person, Alan, would you have to be to do that, do you think?
What kind of person for
Goes to Mars, one-way ticket.
maybe my wife?
What?
My wife?
Your wife?
Because this is a one-way ticket, so I'm
Oh,
so I will never see her again, right?
yeah, that's right.
Yes. So I will ask, will you come with me?
Okay.
I think so.
Oh, okay. Who would you go with? Oh, okay. Well, yeah. That's one thing. We read an article earlier in the class. One thing I really didn't understand. There was many people who had relationships with other people, a wife or girlfriend or whoever, and they want to go by themselves. That's what I don't understand. Why aren't there more husband and wife? Seems odd to me. That would seem to make more sense, and then of course they could make babies and okay, Alan, do you think it's possible? Is it realistic that human beings in the next, I don't know, the planned mission, human mission is for 10 years from now, but do you think it's realistic that human beings will set up a colony or at least a permanent space station on Mars? Is it realistic? Yeah?
Yes, I think some people will willing to do that because there always somebody want to get away and explore the new world. Yes, so I think some people will. Some people will um, trying to get to the Mars and start their new life.
Okay.
That will be some people.
Okay. I'm gonna, Alan, I'll come back to you. I have another question, but I want to ask Alabek first. Alabek, what benefits to the rest of us here on Earth could there be, or might there be?
If we will go to the Mars,
Yeah, if there, that's right. If there was a permanent base on Mars, what do you think?
I think that for the first time there is no any benefits for if we're talking about the money for financial. I think it's all in all it's all spent, only spent for it. But there is important the idea about it, that dream. That yes. So at first time, mankind will be only spend their money. The states will be spent that to to finance that program. But maybe in the future and the perspectives, it will be there will be some benefits for us.
Okay. So, okay, you said it for the first time, but it would be better, more common transitional phrases at first. At first, there wouldn't be any benefits, we'd just be paying. But except for the benefit of motivating or inspiring people. Right.
Yes.
Of course, it would be very inspirational. Okay, and yeah, I agree with you. I think it's apparent that there wouldn't be immediate like financial or immediate rewards, but what rewards might come later down the road? Alan, can you think of anything that might happen at first? Obviously, it just costs a lot of money, and they have to get established. They have to begin. Established means get a good start, fairly stable. But what benefits could that have? 50
Yes.
years later, 100 years later, whatever.
Yes, maybe after the 50 years, the Earth is no longer fit for our living.
Oh God.
Yes, maybe pollution is getting worse. So maybe we have to the human being must go to the space for planet like Mars for living.
Okay. But it's going to be awfully hard to live on Mars. Do you think it will ever be possible to seed a planet? Basically, to try to put in place some kind of cycle, maybe by introducing water and a climate cycle, to create water, to create, hopefully eventually to create atmosphere. I mean, ideally, obviously, breathable atmosphere from humans. Have you ever heard of this? Have you ever heard of this idea? Seeding a planet?
No. You mean on the Mars to build some facility that good for human life?
Yeah, well, that changes the climate, the ecosystem of the entire planet is the general idea. How to go about that, there's many different ideas, many different theories.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think that one of the primary ideas is to somehow get water on Mars. Life doesn't really happen without water.
I think for water it is possible for scientists, for people invent or find some way to make some chemicals, stuff to turn the element to water or to oxygen, something like that. I think it's
Right.
possible in our maybe in our 10-year technology in the future. It could be possible.
Okay. All right. Okay. Alabek, I'm going to take it back to you. Alabek, what might life be like on Mars? If you're one of the first colonists, how would they live, do you think?
Well, I think if there will be some couple, the glasses couple, it's like to do some microclimate, the couple.
Couple?
A couple. It is some half of sphere with built with all glasses.
Okay. Yeah, half a sphere, a dome. A dome, maybe.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. All right.
Some astronomical atmosphere. If it will be real to build it, I think there will be some kind of life. It will be not good as on the Earth, but the first colonists can survive there. The first problem is the air breath to do some atmosphere. What about water? I think I remember it's according to the recent research news from Mars researching. There are no any water.
Yeah. So the question would be how to introduce it, or where are they going to get water? I mean, that's a huge problem.
So I think that the first colonists will be waiting evolution. that can be able that human will live without any water.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, but it needs a long time.
They're going to be very, very thirsty.
I don't know how they can get the water on the Mars.
I can't imagine. What? Life with no beer. That's horrible.
Yeah. Maybe there will be some dry beer.
Dry beer. Oh my God! Actually, there is. Here on Earth, I mean. Have you heard about this? Okay, this class is about technological innovations. I haven't really studied this. I don't know very much about it. But there's some kind of a dry product, like powder, and you can add it to any liquid, actually, or you can just eat it dry, but it has alcohol. You can sprinkle it on food, for example, like salt or pepper, and you eat it, you get drunk. Actually, that already exists. Have you ever heard of that, Alabat?
Yes, I have heard of that.
You have? What a crazy thing. What a crazy idea. I just heard about this a few days ago, as a matter of fact. I was astonished. What a crazy thing. What a very strange thing. What a very dangerous thing, because how do you know? It must be very hard to tell how much you're eating. I don't know. Crazy. Crazy humans. Okay. Well, they certainly cannot take, 500 million gallons of water, or 500 million liters of water, or whatever, with them. So they absolutely have to figure out where they're going to get water. There is evidence that Mars had water at one time, and maybe that possibly there is even ice, possibly, or possibly there is water bound up under the ground of Mars. But they're still studying that. Part of the mission of those rovers, those vehicles on Mars that take pictures and samples and such. That's part of their mission, is try to find any hint of water or locked up water, locked into rocks. That's possible that water could stay inside rock or whatever, I guess. Anyway, they're trying to figure that out. But I think it would be very hard if there was no way to get water. I don't know. Might be impossible. Okay. Does it make more sense, Alan, to have a station on Mars or the Moon or an orbiting station? Now, as you know, there's already an international orbiting space station. I mean, it already exists. What should happen first? Another larger orbiting station, the Moon, Mars? The heck with it. Let's send people to another star system. I don't see what the difference is. If you're going to send people to Mars, which is a one-way trip, why stop there? And they're going to have to live in, as Alibek says, like a dome. They're basically going to be living inside all their lives. What's the difference? Why don't we send people to Alpha Centauri, for example, Tau Ceti, a different star system, Betelgeuse? Why don't we, of course I realize it's going to take them several hundred years, but who cares? Doesn't matter anyway, because whoever we send is not coming back. So anyway, 2 questions, all right? First, what should we do first? The Moon, Mars, or more orbiting stations, or send somebody to another star system? Some buddies, some people.
Yes, I think I prefer the moon. The moon.
Okay.
Because I don't know what is the situation in Mars, but at least at the moon, people can see the Earth.
Yeah. True. And we would say on the moon.
On the moon, yes.
Yeah, not at the moon. On the moon.
Okay.
Yeah. Life on Mars.
I think the American people will be the first. If this kind of sending human to the outer space is possible, the American will be the first pioneer for this event, or for this happen.
Don't know. Maybe.
So. Maybe.
I would actually. Well, I don't know. That's maybe.
Yes, maybe.
And I can understand why you say that, but it would be almost better if it was international, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just that's from my point of view. As far as Alibek was talking about the value of inspiring humans back here on Earth, I think it would be much more inspirational if it was a multinational crew, kind of like Star Trek.
but there in our world there is still national things.
Yeah.
We have different countries. So when people let's say send to the moon, how we do we actually building our international country in the moon, or actually there is still the United States, China, so on?
See, that's a great question.
I don't know. This is a great question.
That's a terrific question. That's a great question. That's exactly where I wanted to go with this idea. Exactly. Okay. It's a very good question. In the International Space Station, of course, you have Russians, you have Americans, Chinese, whatever, that go there. And it's basically an international place, but of course it's only very, very, very few people. But what if you're talking about dozens of people, or hundreds of people, or it becomes bigger and it's thousands of people? What are their alliances? Where is their allegiance? would it be a great chance for human beings to not have nations, nationalism, nationalities, wars? Would it be a great chance to just be humans?
Yes, because it will be a question because people may have conflict of interest, conflict of religious, conflict of anything.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's
so that may become a war or a fight or war, even worse.
okay.
Yes, um, that become a space war,
Space war.
not
So,
real war, but
okay,
space war.
you think as well, I hope anyway, that human beings move more and more into space. Do you think that they will bring their, I'm sorry, but in my opinion, idiotic ideas of nationalism and religious difference and all of that with them into space?
Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure if uh, if humans going to the space, a new planet, they were trying to bring their culture, their
Hmm.
religions, everything from Earth will be trying to transfer to the target planet.
Okay. I hope you're wrong, but that's my opinion. I hope you're very wrong. I would love to just mind wipe them all. Forget
Okay,
it. You don't even know what
okay.
country you came from. You're going to space. Guess what? You don't remember what religion you were. You don't remember what country you came from. Now you can go to space. Great.
So if you rather or if you're willing to go, my mm, immigrant, you will be the immigrant to the space.
Right.
So
As if.
you have to abandon your actual nation.
Ooh, that's a great idea.
Is this is this your idea?
I don't know. No, I think it's your idea, but I like it. Alabek, what do you think of this conversation that Alan and I are having about the idea of humans moving
About
to space? Yeah.
uh, about international or national.
Yeah. Will will or should human beings bring their ideas of nationalism and religious beliefs, or to the exclusion, really I should say religious discriminations, racial discriminations, into space
Uh,
with them?
no, I think it will be not working at space because all kind of that conflicts and opinions uh, just can be able on the Earth, but not on the space. Because and I think that for to do some good settlement and exploring to the other planets will be uh, we can get it only with international collaboration with uh, we if we want to settlement the space we should forget about any conflict on the earth.
Yeah,
uh,
I'm
I
with
think
you.
yes,
I'm with you on that one. Yeah.
yes, but I also must say that I can't see any law limitation about the inhabitation, the space, moon, Mars.
Hmm.
I mean, there. I mean, it's very similar to what we have in the 50th century when the human has opened North America,
Right.
because which country were first on that inhabited on
Yeah.
settlement.
In other words,
Yes, it wins. So we can say exactly that United States can be first or the who else? I think
right.
who first, he wins. It's just maybe it's not fate, but I think
Yeah.
it's according to history. That principle working.
Right. Unfortunately, you are correct. There are historical precedents. Well, you're a lawyer, so you know all about precedents. A precedent has been set. There has already been an example before. Yeah, and unfortunately, you're totally right. Okay, thanks a lot. We are out of time, and I've got another Verbling class to start. So thank you very much, Alibek and Alan. Very interesting talking to you gentlemen today.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'll see you again real soon, I hope. Have a great day.